to introduce upon our next speaker, who is an international speaker, who is none other than Robert Jerus. He is a consultant, psychologist, and a counselor speaker, and he's an author of the Mind Matters, which talks about the emotional intelligence, how we can apply it to our personal and professional life. So that's what he is amazing for, and he has also written nine books. He's an author for 9 books, and one of it is The Mind Matters. And he's also a Udemy instructor with over 70,000 students all across the globe. And he has also authored courses such as happiness, resilience, empathy, and also topics related to emotional intelligence. Now, I would like to call upon Robert Jerus, sir, to take over the session. Welcome, sir.
Sir, you are on mute, sir. Can you please unmute yourself, please?
There we go. Sorry.
Welcome, sir.
I am delighted to be here. It's a great honor. One of the things that happens is I was a college professor for over 35 years. And what always frightened me is I would always ask students, what did they want in life? And the answer was resoundingly very simple and very superficial. Students would tell me they wanted success. Well, I was never one to be happy with just such a simple answer. So I would ask further, what exactly do you think success means? What do you find successful? What do you find unsuccessful? And typically they were a little bit startled at the question, and the answers I would get was some things to the effect of car, big house, beautiful spouse. And it was almost sad to tell them, you need to work on that answer a little bit more. And then when I would probe and they would explore a little bit more, would get things like quality of life, meaningful life, happiness. We were getting more in-depth answers of things that mattered more. What was interesting to me is when they were realizing the significance, they were realizing things that they wanted to be internal. They wanted a life worth living. They wanted to pursue their own destiny. You'll find out when you look at millennials and the next Generation Z, these people are far more interested in themselves, their family, and doing things that are meaningful than they are in pursuing simply cash, money, and those kinds of rewards. So I was kind of surprised by these answers. I'd worked as a psychologist for a number of years and was unsatisfied as a psychologist. Basically, what would happen is people would bring up past problems, past issues. And it didn't take me long to recognize I couldn't fix yesterday. I couldn't change the past. But I realized that there were some methods available to me to make today pretty good and tomorrow even better. Well, the reality is we've all been taught pretty well cognitively, information-wise. And there's a thing called Moore's Law. Moore's Law says that every 7 years, the amount of information on the planet in any given field doubles. Now, that's both a positive and a negative all at once. Thinking about that information explosion that's continuously going on kind of indicates that the world is changing at a drastic rate. For most of us, jobs that we once thought were secure have transitioned. I started out as a draftsman in engineering. In America and the rest of the world, as far as I know, that position doesn't exist anymore. But that was supposed to be a job that would last a lifetime. Accountants are being replaced by computers, even attorneys, engineers, some medical positions. So we need to go to those things within ourselves to make that life worth living. We need to create that destiny by recognizing we haven't been taught feelings and emotions. We don't know how to manage them well. We don't know how to understand them well. So when we start looking at EIQ, It's a simple definition, but it's encompassing. Emotional intelligence is developing social and relational skills, emotional skills that guide the way you perceive, understand, express yourself, the way you connect with other people. You want to be able to understand other people, relationships, deal with challenges, dealing with emotional information in a meaningful, useful way. That's what emotional intelligence is about. Well, EIQ2 developed our model, which starts with self-awareness. You need to be aware of your emotions to be in control of them. So you want to be mindful, you want to be cognizant, you want to be introspective, retrospective. You want to know what your feelings are, what's caused those feelings, how things have played out for you, how things haven't played out the way you'd like, what makes you happy, what makes you sad. One of the things that becomes interesting is we wind up using some terms that are not quite accurate. Very often we use the term positive emotions and negative emotions. Well, emotions are neither positive nor negative. They're about information, they're about energy. So we need to recognize that feelings are who we are, what we are, self-expressive, self-aware. What are your values? What are your benchmarks? Where do you want to go? What do you enjoy? What do you like? What creates that life that you want to enjoy? And we're all a bit different there. So we start with self-awareness, regular mindfulness, regular reflection. We move to self-management. I always laugh when people talk about depression and sadness and stress. From the ages to 18 to 33, that's the most stressed community we have. Now, let me deal with a few sad things about stress. In the health community, one medical professional commits suicide every day in the United States. Suicide is endemic. We simply don't know how to self-manage well. We don't handle emotions well. We don't express them well. We don't get to where we want to be. So we want to create an emotional background of confidence, self-awareness. And I like to put it simply. I want to be the person that you know, you like, and you trust. That's going to be foundational for relationships. If you want to be a person who's a leader, if you want to make friends, it's going to be about being someone who can be known, liked, and trust. Well, how's your self-control? Do you get angry? Do you lose your temper? Do you get frustrated and irritable easily? Are you in control of the agenda? Do you let other people set your life for you? Or do you simply go with the flow? By the way, if you let other people plan your life for you, you'll find out they really haven't planned very much for you. So you want to start looking at self-managing, self-control, self-discipline, setting goals, creating the persona, the personality that you want other people to relate to. You want to be the person you want to be, not somebody else's agenda. So what happens here? Very often we meet nice people, and I try and tell folks,
So sorry, sir, you're on mute, sir. Sorry, Mr. Robert, you're on mute. And do you want me to share your screen, sir? I mean, do you want me to share the PPT? You are on mute. You need to unmute yourself, and I can help you with the PPT. Not a problem. You're not able to find where to unmute. You need to unmute yourself, sir. You're on mute.
Robert, sir, if you are searching for the mute option, that is the unmute option, it is the leftmost corner at the end. Probably you can just look at that and you can unmute yourself.
Because we wouldn't be able to unmute from our side. We can just give the access. Others audience, we will request you to please stay back for a while. We'll sort it out the technical issue.
Okay, let's connect him through WhatsApp. So, thank you. We'll quickly connect him through WhatsApp and get it sorted. Okay, thank you.
All right. In the meantime, since a lot of you have been asking for regarding the certificate, I would like to play the video of the certificate. What is the use of that, and what are the ways we can get it? Yes, sir. We understand that actually the way our Zoom works is we can give the option to unmute, but we will not be able to unmute people. That has been the update for quite some time, because people shouldn't be embarrassed when they have kept them on mute. The host will not have the option to unmute. So I'd like to highlight that over here. So as of now, what I will do, I'll share the video regarding the certificate, since most of you have been asking regarding all those things.
Do we have audio back?
Yes, sir. You're back.
Okay.
So do you want me to share the PPT? You want me to share the slides?
That would be nice. Yes.
Yes, I will do that. Don't worry. I'll take care of that. You can just please guiding me.
Okay.
To the next slide.
We're back on track then. Sorry for the delay. Okay, if we move down to the circle, since you're doing it, I'll.
You can stop me when you want to stop.
Okay, just one more, I think. Right there. Thank you. Nope, one back is good.
One back.
Okay. Terrific. Thank you very much for your technical expertise. So we were talking about self-management. One of the things that happens is what we get into the habit of becomes who we are. Very often, if we talk to quality people and I announce that I'm depressed, they'll be kind enough to listen to my troubles, maybe share my own personal pity party. But what happens is emotions are highly contagious. After a while, those good people won't want to associate with me. So I need to somehow manage my own feelings. I need to deal with them. I need to self-discipline. Your creativity, your agility, this all comes from self-management. Then I want to relate to other people. I want to have some empathy. I want to understand why things are problems to some people, how to be benevolent, how to add value. We can just pick on the kindness of my hosts who were helping me with the technology, because they immediately understood that could be frustrating for me not to know how to work the technology, and I'm not the greatest at it. So we want to be able to serve. We want to be compassionate. We want to be kind. We want to be good communicators. I want to recognize that there's verbal, nonverbal communication. It's been dubbed soft skills, and everybody always assumes that because they're soft, they're easy. It's actually quite the opposite. They're probably more important to develop relationships, and they're more crucial. Then we get into the last but most important sector, relationship management. Do you play well with other children? Do you collaborate well? Do you have good teams? Are you an influencer, a leader? Can you take things the way you want them to go? If we move to the next slide, we can relate this specifically to career management. Well, self-awareness is going to be about your personal discovery, the authentic you, who you want to be, what you want to be, what your dreams are, where you're going. The self-management, what counts to you? How much does it count? Can you do some self-care for yourself? If things aren't going well, can you make them better? Do you have the resources internally? By the way, we're always developing those resources. It's continuous. We amplify. The mind rewires on a consistent basis. So what we tell ourselves, what we envision, what we see the future as, that's pretty much how we're going to leave our lives. Do you enjoy other people? Do you volunteer? Do you find out what you like and what you don't like? Very often people confuse what you can do to what you enjoy doing. You may be able to be a very good computer programmer or accountant or technical person, but if you don't enjoy it, you need to find something where you're getting rewards. And by the way, if you really don't enjoy it, you'll find out the best you'll ever be is really mediocre. When you develop relationships are a fantastic thing. Most happiness in life is going to come from those relationships. You're going to spend most of the time with the people you work with. So we're looking for quality and quantity, but we need to focus more on quality. People confuse acquaintances with relationships. If you've got a large contact grid, that's not the same as having relationships. How many of those people do you really know? Are you really connected with? Do you really resonate with? How many of them make your life better, more meaningful, more significant? Next slide will show us the percentages for emotional intelligence. Part of why I got involved with emotional intelligence is it can be taught. It can be taught well. You can get much better with it. Management is increasingly saying that soft skills are the way to go. It's involved with about 90% of leadership. Companies are identifying it more and more, but they haven't quite caught up yet. But the soft skills are what's going to take you through life. It's going to give you that meaningfulness. It's going to take you where you want to be. The soft skills are going to promote that life worth living. They're going to establish how you want to be, how you want to make things happen. Now, if we move to the next slide, you'll see that we've got foundational foundational values, your character, your faith, who you want to serve. You've got your personal leadership. What's your mission going to be in life? How are you going to design things? And we move to your life calling. If you find out what you want to do in life, you're going to find life is meaningful. You're going to have those relationships. You're going to have the experiences that you want. Now let's move to a short way in the next slide to tell you, how do you implement this here, now, and all the time? Part of why emotional intelligence is so important is it can be trained and it can be developed. It can be trained and developed on a conscious, consistent basis. If you look at your daily dose of emotional intelligence, the next slide, you'll see that you want to deal with the physical, your health. If your mind isn't healthy, you're going to suffer. It's not going to work. So what we need to do is you need to get some sleep, drink water, hydrate. The brain is made mostly up of fat, so we need to take care of it. Like anything else, excuse me, your brain is going to be better when you exercise it. Read, do puzzles, solve problems, work on your memory, refresh things. Connect with other people, have conversations, not monologues. You want to be cognitively better. Now, your feelings are about emotions and cognition synchronized together. It's important to have both thoughts and feelings. Well, I want to reflect. I want to be self-aware. I want to know how I'm coming across. Am I the person I want to be? Am I being smart in life? Am I being specific, measurable, actionable, relevant, timely? We need to ask questions of ourselves all the time. How do I become better? How am I the person I want to be? How do I need to self-express? Very often, we meet people who are cranky, irritable, frustrated. Anger is a very powerful emotion. Some of our emotions give lots of energy. Others take it away. Anger is going to diffuse relationships. People don't like angry people. I want to recognize that all of us are going to have negative thoughts from time to time, thoughts that are not productive, that are not constructive to the person I want to be. We get irritated by things. Traffic too much, running behind schedule, technology doesn't quite work. So we want to make sure that we choose happiness. Let it go. Don't sweat the small stuff. Center, be in the present. As a psychologist, I had the experience of dealing with people who were in the past, spending their time with regret, their own personal pity party for what went wrong yesterday. And it was sad to warn them that you really can't fix it, but you can deal with it. Are you spending your life in the future, planning, making agendas, structures, or are you worried and anxious? Executives experience high degrees of worry. They worry about the people they work with. They worry about their families. They worry about the competition. We need to put that aside and manage the present. What are your real reasons for well-being and happiness? Do you enjoy people? Are you forgiving, compassionate, grateful? Those are going to make your life a little bit better. And then we move to the fourth category of things you can do, your life balance. Are you doing meaningful stuff? Does it have value for you? Or are you mired in trivia? Is it somebody else's agenda or is it yours? So we want to set your personal programs. I want to improve every day. I want to be engaged. I want to be motivated. Don't think it's anybody else's job to engage or motivate you. It's about you. Act with self-esteem and confidence. You don't have the room for the doubt. You need to move on to a positive agenda that's going to make you happy at the end of the day. What somebody else likes may not be what works for you, and it probably won't be. Now, if we move on to creating and recreating careers, the next slide. Here's the reality that we have. Companies aren't going to take care of you anymore. That world, if it ever existed, is gone. That career you spent the time on in the university, you're going to change. The estimate these days is that you have about 7 careers in a lifetime. And of those 7 careers, your final one doesn't even exist yet. So you need to deal with a world that's that dynamic, that's that changing. Are you connected globally? You should be. Do you have a presence on LinkedIn? Are you making other people's lives better? Are you trying to add value? You'll find out the more value you add to yourself and to others, the more opportunities you're going to create. So we start with your expectations to create that career. What are you looking for? Who do I want to work with? What do I want to do? What community do I want to serve? When we look for rewards, there are internal and external rewards that a career offers. I worked as a corporate controller. It's an accounting position. I've got a master's in accounting, among other things. I've taught accounting at the university level. But that's not where I get my joy in life. So my expectations needed to change. What are your needs and wants? We've all seen Maslow's hierarchy with physical needs, and then we move up to belongingness and social needs, all the way up to personal and self-satisfaction needs. Well, for all of us, those are met by different things. Consumers change what they need. For anybody who's a bit older, I never knew I needed a cell phone. I never knew I needed the internet. But yet I can't think of a day that goes by now where I'm not using both of those tools. What kind of lifestyle do you want? What's your life path? What constitutes quality of life for you? What skills do you enjoy? What skills don't you enjoy? Well, most careers, most jobs have certain things that you just have to get done, and they're probably not very rewarding. When I was a college professor, I didn't enjoy the paperwork, but yet it was part of the job. As a psychologist, same thing. I was never a big fan of paperwork, but I liked working with people a lot. So I've reinvented my career several times to get the lifestyle I enjoy. I like working with people. That's what gets me excited. What's going to make you happy? What's going to get your well-being? Is it going to the beach, going to the mountains, nature? What kind of nature? Going for a walk? Spending time with friends? Playing games? So we're going to ask you those questions to figure out, to structure for yourself. This is all going to be part of that emotional intelligence, to create that mindfulness, to create the self-awareness, to create your structure, your life. Now, I'm a big fan of coaches. I always tell people, you want a coach. You want somebody who can look from the outside and help you with what's going right and what's going wrong. I like to keep people in a positive vein. So one of the things I like to tell people with coaching is I like to start with 3 questions just about every day. And if you start the morning with them, things will go a little bit better. Look at yesterday. What's going well? If it's going well, I want to do more of it. I want to have a good time. If it's going well, I'm probably enjoying it. This is going to contribute to my quality of life, my well-being, getting in the flow. It feels good. What could have gone better? Take the positive perspective. Don't talk to me about what went bad. Talk about what could have been better, what you would have liked to have seen happen at a higher level, what could be a little bit more successful in your life. Remember, it's up to you to create that path, that agenda, that structure. You're setting the habits, the systems that are going to make your life. And then last but not least, in your 3 questions, what's next? What's the agenda now? Where am I going? How am I going? How am I going to make it right? Now, that third part, what's happening now? Very often, people lose track and think it's all about the here and now. Well, here's a secret that I can tell you about happiness. When you plan and you create that what's next, You create some happiness in organizing, structuring, planning, anticipating, and you can double the happiness. You can have tomorrow's happiness today, and then you can have it tomorrow too. Even better. Now, one of the secrets that most coaches lose track of is, when are things working for you? When aren't they working for you? Now, here's a very simple rule for coaching. I want to anticipate. I want to help people with their expectations. I want to help them live that life that they want to live. Where do they empathize? Where do they want to go? It's been said, and pretty accurately, that you create a habit in about 21 days. It's about 3 weeks. You use your willpower to do it. Consciously make changes. Deliberately put things into operation for yourself. But what happens with willpower? Diets fail, exercise programs fail, because our willpower is limited. We need to work on a conscious level, which is willpower, and on that subconscious level, which is going to be about creating that life worth living. You create a lifestyle in about 100 days. Now we need to ramp up the willpower. We need to keep you on task and on structure for about 3 months. This is a great time to be talking about careers and where you're going, because we've got a little bit over 100 days for the rest of this year. I'm going to suggest to you, get that coach, get excited, get engendered, and create a plan for yourself for 100 days. That's going to create the life worth living. Do you want to read a book? Great, do it. Do you want to write a book? Given 100 days, you can make it happen. Think of something that's meaningful, life-changing, and put the 100 days into operation for you. Now let's go to the next slide, and it's a bit of a review. It's going to take you back. We like to tell people with EIQ2, emotional intelligence, I like to start with an assessment. I like to take people and tell them, this is where we see you as being. Now, the EIQ2 system is different than anybody else's. It is a feed-forward visual experiential system. Now, what that means is, wherever you are, that's the starting point. It's not an end point. It's a commencement. That's why we start with the assessment. I need people who will get certified to help other people. Anybody out there who wants to make a difference while making a living? Become a coach. We've got materials, visual, extensive visual. People work with pictures much better than they work with words. Applications, quotations, yes. I've written over 400 articles on emotional intelligence for different people, for different areas. This works in any career. It works in any structure, but it needs to be adapted for you and for your audience. That's where a good coach comes in. Now, on our last slide, because I do want to be respectful of time, this is what I encourage people to do. Take a course in emotional intelligence. Spend a bit of time with a coach. Get through the essentials. Get used to self-awareness, self-management, empathy, social awareness, and relationship management. Move yourself to the next level. Become a certified coach. Part of what we try and do is create a coaching community. Our coaches aren't out there by themselves. If you find someone who thinks they have all the answers, run away. Nobody has all the answers. And if they think they do, they're sadly mistaken and they've missed out on something. We have a feed-forward learning system. Tomorrow is going to be better than today. It's not about just today. Your career. You need to reinvent yourself continuously, constantly. So we have learning systems. We train coaches. We teach trainers. I want to get you visualizing your success. I want to teach you that. I want to teach you how to talk to yourself and other people. Then let's take it one step further, because we want to strive for real excellence, not just being there, not just being part of the crowd. Real excellence is going to come from additional courses, training, and certification that we offer. The empathy principle. Do you understand your audience? Do you understand other people? Can you relate? Can you bridge connections? Do you understand what's happening with them? Very often our leaders have lost touch. We move to heartfelt leadership. Do you care about the people you work with? Are you trying to build them up? Are you serving internally and externally? Well, heartfelt leaders are the people who are really going to get the most out of their team and themselves. Mental strength and resiliency. I've been told India is a place where people are very resilient. But somehow or another, you need to take that a step further. You need to build yourself up. You need to recover from setbacks and disappointment. You need to make everything better. Teams, engagement, collaboration, customer service. This is all about the heart of emotional intelligence. Now, I'm pretty much done with my time, and I thank you for listening to me, and I'm looking forward to seeing more and more of you engage with emotional intelligence and engage with EIQ2 and our team. If you have any questions, contact me on LinkedIn or give me a call. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Robert Jerus, for making time to speak to us today on the very important topic of emotional intelligence. Coming from a psychology background, many of us would be knowing how important EQ is, but it is because of this session that we know about it in so much of the detail. Also, we have an e-certificate for you. Please have a look at it.
Thank you. I'm honored.
Can we have the certificate, please?
We are dropping his e-certificate over here. Give me just a quick second, sir. And we have received a lot of appreciation about your presentation as well. A lot of people, they are enjoying your PPT. They said, thank you so much for such a lovely PPT, what you have organized for our audience.
I am honored, sir.
And we have a beautiful e-certificate for you. We would like to give it as a token of love. So please accept our e-certificate. This is for you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. I'm delighted to have been here, and thank you for your very generous time.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good day, and I know it's the afternoon here. It's still pretty early in the morning where we are.
It's the evening, sir. And thank you so much for your valuable time. Thank you.
You have a good day, and I'll say goodbye now.
Same to you, sir. Bye. Now, join the vision, build India.
Join the mission, build India to serve the world.
Join the mission and build India to serve the world.
Join the mission, build India to serve the world.
Join the mission, build India to serve the world.